What's good, YouTube? And welcome to Maze of Memery, or whatever joke name the community is going to give this set. I'm going to call it now that this will be the first world premiere collector rare set to actually flop on arrival. And if there is a silver lining, it's the History Archive collection doing some heavy lifting as imports rather than the world premiere cards, which I did not expect Gate Guardian to just take off and get Thunder Dragon levels of support, but I expected it to maybe be Rogue topping regionals, and it feels like the poker cards where it's going to take a backseat and not do all that much, but maybe give some slow value to the set. Why I'm so disappointed is obviously the reprint selection and so far collector rare selection. We don't know all the collector rares, but when you're giving it to Psybeast and Wind Up Kitten, according to Yu-Gi-Oh! Organization here, I can't believe that we've fallen so far from Toon Chaos where we're getting Stardust Dragon, Psyframe Gear Gamma, and now you're doing like select techs in the metagame as collector rares that were only expensive to begin with because they hadn't had a reprint in forever. Heck, Wind Up Kitten debuted as an ultra rare and absolutely should not be taking a slot from cards that are only getting 3.6 of each per booster case. We're only getting 3 ultras per box. Imagine looking at a Wind Up Kitten in your face. Like, yeah, it's cute, but you're gonna be angry. Good reprints are like Nimble Angler, which people were asking when that would get reprinted again. Blackwing Kaluth. Good for Simo memes and Edison format, but the Rika cards also taking ultra rare slots seems really weird because these were only around 25 to 30, and while they were getting traction for this current format as well, like really, these are your reprint ultra rares alongside Baroness and Chimera? I don't understand. Also, cards like Solemn Judgment, which are already ultimate rare in an OTS pack, being collector rare again when there's so many different deserving cards. Like you could do Black Rose Dragon. Yes, it already has an ulti from the packs, as well as already has a ghost rare, but matching Stardust Dragon and getting those kind of collections rather than your OTS selected ultimate rares, it would be nice to see some different choices. Also, like Grin Maju, which is collector rare in the OCG, looks amazing, has tons of fan favorites, and could gain value over time, versus cards like these, while iconic, already have a high rarity version where we've seen them fight before. We've seen that with Desires, we've seen it with Solemn Strike, where it ends up dragging down the value overall, and neither are winners. I really just hate to see it. Now, I do like seeing Imperial Iron Wall and Royal Decree and cards like these any times that can get long-term, slowly go up value in a set. I do like cards like that. Also, Ancient Fairy Dragon probably getting its errata here, as well as Photon Orbital being collector rare. I mean, this card again was only expensive, and we didn't see, the Galaxy rank 8 that we were hoping to see in the set. It's just so weird, but Photon Orbital, it is a decent reprint, not a great collector rare in my opinion. So yeah, again, the History Archive collection is where this shines at all. I really do like the Supreme King Trap. I do like the Stardust Excel Synchron. I think it's nice to see some of these cards imported, like the hero cards, the Red Eyes card, that could do okay for themselves over time. But the question remains, when does Konami reprint? And when we compare to King's Copium, which was successful but still not well received overall by the community, in fact, it's only gone down in price for the most part, recently coming back up like $50 or something. But you see, it actually did peak way higher, around 90, and we can't go that far back on the graph. But when we're looking at the fall of this set slowly over time, well, the Pharaoh Rare debuted was extra versus what we're seeing in Maze. They're probably holding it for whatever Mavens 2 will end up being, where it's renamed. We had F-Zero impact the meta for a bit before a ban list. Lightning Storm's a 3 of. Rhoda gives back to collectors that want to do past formats, and even current Rescue Rabbit. Choices like these really go above and beyond something like Wind Up Kitten, which again just doesn't make the most sense for where it's at. But let me know what you think in the comments section down below before we get to the actual impact in the market already of the reveals today, which are somewhat ridiculous because maybe I'm too harsh on it, but at the same time, there are so many actual Rika reprints in here that they did a decent job for that deck. But outside of that, like, why Spellbook of Fate, which does need a reprint, as a collector rare over, say, Spellbook of Judgment or something way far more iconic in terms of like just how these sets sets have gone for world premiere sets is frustrating to me. Baroness instantly coming on down on a reveal, even though we already knew it and it was named and boldened and, you know, it was going to be in the set. It's down towards 60 very fast, where it was spiking before I warned about it. It started to come down and then go back up again. Just absolutely crazy stuff on the market. Like, Branded has been doing really well and the YCS circuit. I underestimated the deck personally. I called it a bit of copium and it's been performing. So Chimera was spiking back up. We knew it was on the cover of the set, and here it comes crashing down to a degree around $28 versus the 40 it was going towards. Zark is up in price for first edition OGs, although there is one around $4. You will find deals and sellers for stuff like that. It quickly goes towards $5 to $6 right now. And the Rika stuff is going to be mid-max in Secret, since you do have a collector rare for the Queen. Glamour will look good in Secret Rare still, so I think these will fall out a little slower, but again, it's about accessibility. You're still going to have pre-sellers rip this open. You're going to have people at locals rip this open, so quantities will end up appearing there. And cards like this that were $6, good to see them actually go for what they did on the reprints with the Rikas. Mana Moon has up a new collection, which is a limited time for order. Code What's Good 5 for 5% off, and to support the channel directly will work over there. And I really like what she did with this deck box. It looks freaking amazing with the metal magic circle on the front, and you open up, you get Dark Magician and DMG, so not just the waifu bait. I love that mix and the match. It looks amazing, and I love that she includes those deck dividers in there. More companies could definitely be doing that. Again, code What's Good 5 for 5% off, and to support the channel directly over at Mana Moon. Now, let's talk about the current format. Crossout Designator is going up right now because it counters multiple things for multiple decks that are problematic in the format, and we still have this at 3 over here in the TCG, if I'm not mistaken. I've been playing a lot of Master Duel, and it messes with my head. I already know I messed up one market watch saying, yeah, Red Reboot will take care of that, and we have it banned in the TCG, right? I forgot even celebrating that because I've been playing so much Master Duel, and I think it's a 2 over there. I digress. When it comes down to Crossout Designator, it counters Dimensional Barrier, which DB Grinder pointed out. It also counters Nibiru if you're playing Kashtira, and if you're playing Branded, it counters Ash and other problems you might be facing. Apparently, Branded gets the most out of using this currently in the format, but a lot of decks have one card problems that if they clear the way of that, they are just on a golden road, and people are looking at this card once again, and the Secret Rare reprint in the 2022 10s does look much nicer than the OG that people remember paying $120 for. Traptrix stuff has been spiking. Pack is leading the hype on that. 3 structured decks and going strong and adding, you know, some value to it here and there. He had a winning record as well at regionals after undefeated, I think, at a case tournament. So he's been having really good results with the deck, and a ton of the max rarity stuff for this has been spiking. Whenever there's a structure deck that is also in demand, you will usually see this, and the structure deck itself seems to be selling very, very well past a lot of people's expectations. For the Traptrix deck itself, Parallel Exceed, even the common, is way up in value and money. This also gets played in Math Mech, which people have been buying some cards out for in the current format, so you get some crossover there. Also, speaking of crossover, Regulus got its own hype before, and it seems that it does mix in the Traptrix deck as well, and it is starting to spike even harder back up towards $50 right now for the Secret Rares. Remember, there is going to be a Clock versus Megatons, and those sort of things, should we get them in that conversation. But when it comes down to it, Regulus, yeah, definitely going back up to hype prices. Sphere mode, we've talked about this bubbling over at 12 to 14. Now, a lot of the ultra rare versions are $20+, and it's on full buyout mode, especially for the OG, and it's starting to push the quantities of even the Ghost Rare online, where people are kind of timid about quality control. Speaking of techs and tributing opponents' boards, Gamma Seal Secret Rare is going up, and people are discussing it against Kashtira and their new in-boards within the metagame, so it's going towards $15, $16. Whenever you see different techs start to evolve, then the end boards will end up evolving for how people are going to deal with things. But yeah, be aware, Secret Rare Gamma Seal, highest rarity kaiju, I'm a huge kaiju lover, is going way up in price. Fossil Warrior Skull Knight is a synth for Dogmatic Punishment in Labyrinth, and it has been spiking up here. Remember, this was a short print. You do have an easy access version that is cheap besides the secret rare. This is max rarity, but it's spiking back up here in price. Again, remember, this was short printed in Armageddon, but Armageddon was heavily open. Cartesia is up towards $50+ right now. Again, personally, I underestimated this card, and I'm seeing it go way up. So people who did call Branded versus me saying, yeah, it's not Copium, this deck's going to perform, good job on your part. Then we have the Pureleast. I can't believe what I'm looking at. $150. Yeah, I know what a friend is. I own that Yu-Gi-Oh card. My friend the Purely, $150 lows. This will come down hopefully a little bit, but oh my gosh, the Purely buyouts are on the full meme mode. Purely Pretty Memory. Noir actually back down in price. You have Purely itself above 100, so people are cycling the Purely collector rare buyouts like crazy, and the set itself isn't going up all that much, really. $46 is still a failing set, but the Purely sure are way up there. Maybe there is some hope for this set overall. Like I said, I realize why people fell in love with Mikanko, but oh my gosh, the Pureleys are going hard. And then finally, we have the last day to buy the pot collection over on the Konami site. Do be aware, including myself, where I had like weird charges to my credit card, but they've been resolved. A lot of people are having issues with credit card payment on the site, including the owner of Yu-Gi-Oh! Organization, who was emailed that he would get refunded, then re-emailed that he would not get refunded. You can actually go to his Twitter and see here. But yeah, just wild stuff, especially with international shipping. Check your emails and the prices you were charged versus what you were quoted, and it's kind of crazy. But again, be aware, this is the last time to end up buying the pot collection, as pre-sales will end here at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and this was made to order, so that means there should not be any more of these printed, especially in the English language. Sometimes they do re-wave these kind of things in the OCG, but a lot of the times they don't. Again, be aware and check your emails to make sure you had no issues, no extra upcharges, etc. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation, and let me know what you think of Maze of Memories and what joke names you have for this set. Again, very impressed with the History Archive Collection side, but it feeling more like an import set than a world premiere set is also kind of odd to me on a larger scale. It doesn't feel like all that much of a reprint set either. You get Baroness and Chimera, and that is 2 cards, but it feels like the imports lead the charge for me.